Hi there, I'm John from CNCKing.com, and today we'll review an image, both the positive and the negative, on two different materials. One a laminate that looks like wood, and the other one solid wood. Like I tell my customers, every material has a positive and a negative to it. In this case here we have laminate that looks like wood. And for some applications this is wonderful. The advantage to this is that it's very, very lightweight. It's laminate. So for instance, if you wanted this to be stuck on a wall, this is awesome. While using wood veneer and that kind of stuff, you won't really notice the difference, to be honest with you, at a distance. The cost factor of this is also a little bit less, but again it depends on volume and size and material availability. Another advantage to laminate is that you could get it in a bunch of different materials. So let's say you wanted this ship here, in this case, to look like it was out of steel. Doing it out of laminate is a very, very cost-effective way of doing it over using real stainless steel that needs to be annealed or anodized aluminum that needs to be engraved. What we'll do now, we'll take a look at our laser producing these two. Now what we'll do is the same design on this, a piece of maple. The advantage with wood over laminate is one, it's a lot easier to keep clean, but it is a very inconsistent material compared to laminate. For instance here, you can see there's, this is just the fake grain of the plastic. But if you compare that to this here, which is the exact same image, you'll notice that there's a lot of grain and other features in here. Let's say, for instance, you wanted this here to be painted white. So let's say we make this out of oak and we want the image to be very, very high contrast. It's very difficult to do that on a material with this many fine details. So that's where laminate would have a definite advantage, especially when you throw in the production time and all the other stuff involved with it. So what we'll do now, we'll take a look at the laser producing one side, and then we'll look at the laser producing the other side. While we can get laminate in hundreds of different color combinations, most of them are very solid, and they can also be paint filled in reverse, let's say like a mirror and that kind of stuff. The advantage with wood is that there's probably over 20 species that we have actively in the shop, moving around in the inventory. So you have a lot of variance in like the color that you want. What the laser is doing here is darkening it. So you can see here, this is laser work, this is not touched. Same thing with the other side. This is laser, this is untouched. What I like about wood is that this can actually go outside once it's sealed, and it will look great for a very long time. While laminate, even if it is UV stable and UV coated and all that kind of stuff, it will still degrade over time. It is plastic at the end of the day, and it does tend to dry out. The other thing I really like about wood is that I can also sand it. So let's say you leave this outside for a couple of years, it starts to look a little rough, and I knew that ahead of time, so I engraved it pretty deep. I just go over it with a sander and it'll refresh the whole design right up. While with laminate, you're pretty much stuck with this here, and if it gets dirty, it's a little bit of trouble to clean it, because any sort of harsh chemicals or that kind of stuff will actually dissolve the plastic. So what we'll do now, we'll take a look at the laser producing the other side of this. generally do here in the shop is that when we get an image, we let the customer decide if they want a positive or negative version of it. And for instance here, as you can see, this is exactly the same thing. The white here is engraved, while the dark here is also engraved. On the other side, you have the opposite. So again, one is a positive, one is a negative. And what I do is I let the customer decide which one they prefer. Now there is some image optimization that can be done. So for instance here, there's a boat, and you clearly see, but adding like a little bit of a line here will accentuate it, as well as a few other things we can add to the detail of the image, just to make it a little bit more pop outish. So if you're looking for custom laminate, custom wood, custom basically anything, contact me at CNCKing.com, and we'll make some awesome wood or anything for you.